Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
It's our literature unit for the month of September, and we've got a young reader's novel to talk about today. It's entitled A List of Cages, and it's kind of a sad story. It's kind of about abuse by an uncle to a young kid, and this can happen sometimes in society. Maybe a story like this has happened to you or someone you know, so you might be able to relate to this, although maybe it might bring back painful memories or something like that.
Yeah, but it also is a good example of what friendship can lead to and do for you. So maybe it will make some of our listeners a little bit more curious. Sometimes we don't see what's right in front of our faces, in front of our eyes. But if you know of someone who seems to be suffering, see if you can help. So we're going to start out by talking about the plot for a couple of days, and then we will be talking about the author, Robin Rowe. This is her debut novel, her first novel, and it's been very successful for her. She actually has some experience with this abuse in her family, which we'll talk about on day 3. Right now, though, we're going to read through day 1, and then we'll be back. Adam and Julian couldn't be more different. Adam is a popular, confident high school senior, while Julian is a quiet and lonely freshman. Yet the two boys share a unique relationship. They first became friends in elementary school, when Adam was Julian's reading buddy. Later, when Julian's parents passed away, Adam's mother took Julian in, and they became foster brothers. However, since moving in with his uncle, Russell, Julian has begun to withdraw more and more. He's been missing classes and skipping school counseling appointments. The boys' old friendship is revived when Adam is asked to spend time with Julian for course credit. Adam welcomes Julian into his group of friends, but soon realizes Julian's troubles run deeper than he expected. When visiting his house to check on him one day, Adam comes face to face with Russell, who aggressively questions him and then slams the door in his face. Adam later tells his girlfriend, Emerald, that there is something off about Russell. After Adam leaves, Russell turns his wrath on Julian. He beats the boy with a stick for violating his rules and even hits him in the face, leaving noticeable wounds. Once Russell leaves, Julian flees to the home where he used to live with his parents. Adam finds him there and is horrified to see Julian's face and clothes covered in blood. Realizing what's been happening, Adam takes Julian to safety at Emerald's house. Though Adam wants to call the police, both Julian and Emerald convince him not to, as it could endanger Julian further. Instead, they clean his wounds and care for him until he goes home on his own.
Okay, everybody, let's talk about the contents of today's article. The title is A List of Cages, a story of tragedy and triumph. Now, you might have to read the book to find out exactly what that title means, but we'll tell you literally what it means. A list of something just means you've got an item, you've got some items written on a piece of paper, like a list of things that you need to buy at the supermarket, for example, a carton of milk, a pound of butter, some meat, some beans and stuff like that. That would be a list of items. And cages, of course, are structures that we keep animals inside if they are our pets, like bird cages, for example. So the cages could be referring to all the places that Julian has to stay in because he's having a hard life and lives in different places. So this is a story of tragedy and triumph. Tragedy just means something sad happened. Somebody got hurt or somebody got killed, like Shakespeare's Macbeth or Hamlet. Those are famous tragedies.
And a triumph, of course, is the opposite. It's when you've had a lot of success or some type of victory that you can celebrate. So we've got good parts to the story and bad parts as well. So let's dive in. We're going to start out by looking at the not the theme of the story, but what this story is about, the plot. So we've got two boys, Adam and Julian. Adam is very popular, he's confident, and he's also the oldest of the two. He's a high school senior, while Julian is younger. He's only a freshman, but he's also very quiet, and he's lonely. So that's why the first sentence says, they couldn't be more different. They're very different. It's impossible that they're any more different than they are. They're complete opposites, you could say.
Exactly. So you got Adam, he's a senior, which means he's in his final year of high school. And then we've got Julian, who is in his first year of high school. So in high school, we've got freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior. And then we have the same words in university, although nowadays some people are trying to change this to first year, second year, third year, fourth year for whatever reason. But you still hear these terms freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. So they are about 3 years different in age there. But still, the two boys share a unique relationship. It's a special kind of friendship. This does happen sometimes. If you're outgoing and you have lots of friends, sometimes your best friend might be somebody who's very shy. It does happen sometimes. I guess such personalities kind of complement each other. If you're both really popular, you might have conflicts or something like that. Or if you're both really shy, you might have conflicts that way. So sometimes it's a good idea to have opposites in a friendship.
Yeah, another way to talk about their age difference is to say that Adam is 3 years older. They're 3 years apart. But yeah, usually you don't find high school seniors who are even willing to talk to high school freshmen. High school freshmen are babies, according to the seniors. I went to a 3-year high school, so we didn't have freshmen in my school. That was part of junior high. But a lot of high schools in America and other places have 4-year high schools. And so you have these very young freshmen going to classes with these really cool seniors. They think they're cool, at least. So they first became friends in elementary school way back when they were just young boys. Adam was assigned to be Julian's reading buddy. That's a good way for kids to learn how to read, is to have an older child helping a younger child. It looks like in his school, that's the program that they would use. Well, later we find out Julian's parents pass away, which is so awful. And at that point, Adam's mother took Julian in, and they became foster brothers. A lot of kids who are orphaned, especially at a young age, if they aren't adopted and live permanently with a family, who then are their legal family, they might be taken in as a foster child, which just means a family is paid by the government to take care of a particular child. Sometimes their own parents have been killed, but sometimes their parents are incapable or not capable of taking care of them. Maybe they're drug addicts or have other problems. And so they will go into the foster system. So that's how Adam and Julian then became quite close. If you take someone in, you agree to give them shelter and food and watch over them.
Exactly. So in this particular case, Adam's mother took Julian in and they became foster brothers, but of course they were not formally adopting Julian, so he was not going to actually live in their house forever. And eventually Julian moved out to live with his uncle, as it says in the next paragraph. However, since moving in with his uncle, Russell, Julian has begun to withdraw more and more. So, of course, when kids lose their parents, of course, the legal system will look for other relatives who are willing to take them in or to adopt them or whatever. So there was an available uncle, Uncle Russell. So Julian went to live with Uncle Russell, but afterwards, after Julian moved in with Uncle Russell, he began to withdraw more and more. Now, here we've got the verb to withdraw, which means you take yourself out of a situation, which means perhaps if you're in a tennis match, for example, and you have an injury during the match, well, you withdraw. You basically quit the game and let the other person win because you cannot continue. But in this particular case, if you withdraw in your personality, it means you talk to other people less and less. You kind of become a loner.Right.
You stop talking with other people. You kind of keep to yourself. You don't want to be included in groups. You just want to be left alone. He doesn't sound like he is able to really communicate much at this point. So he's also been missing classes. So he's not been going to school. He's skipping school. Or as I said when I was growing up, I ditched school.Or cut class is another way to talk about not going to school and maybe going off and playing instead.
Or to play hooky, we say that too.
Yeah, to play hooky. Yeah, he's playing hooky. So he would skip his school counseling appointments. So they know that Julian's been having a hard time.If you have counseling, it's because you probably have some personal or social or even psychological issues where professionals trying to help you through them. Remember, his parents passed away, and that's hard enough on a kid just to have your parents die suddenly. But he's also lived in the foster system, and now he's moved in with his uncle.We're going to find out his uncle is a bad guy pretty soon. So his teachers noticed he needed some help. So they're trying to help him by setting up these school counseling appointments so that he can go and talk to a professional about how he's feeling. And they're going to try to help him get through this tough time.
Yeah, I remember in school, every once in a while, the school counselor would come to our class and tell us about a new student, and they'd say, well, this particular student has had a hard time, etc., etc. Maybe they wouldn't tell us exactly what the problem was, but they asked us to be understanding.
To be kind.
To be kind and not bully this person because they've had kind of a hard time with life. So that's always helpful. And hopefully those kids had a better time in school because of that counseling. And, of course, the kid probably still needs to talk to the counselor. How are you dealing with school? Are you able to deal with the loss of your parents or things like that? So that's what counselors are for. And we'll continue to talk about the plot of our story in just a couple of seconds. But right now, let's listen to our Chinese teacher.
听众朋友，大家好，我是 Anna。我们这个月的文学单元又要带大家来看一本小说。这本小说呢，英文叫做 A List of Cages， 中文翻成行李箱里的1万颗星星。那么主要是在谈有关于一点点悲剧，但是又是一个 happy ending 的一个小说。主角呢，其实有2位，他们都是男生，一个是 Adam， 一个是Julian。 那么 Adam 跟 Julian 呢，其实就是完全截然不同的个性。 Adam 很受欢迎，这个是高中应届毕业生，那 Julian 则是很安静很 lonely 的一个 freshman。 不过这2个男生呢，有一些独特的关系，因为他们第一次成为朋友是在小学的时候。当时呢 Adam 就是 Julian 的一个reading buddy， 就是学习伙伴。不过 Julian 的父母亲过世之后啊， Adam 母亲就收留了 Julian。 后来 Adam 跟 Julian 成为 foster brothers， 就是所谓的养兄弟，在第一段第5句最后的地方 foster brothers。 那么之后就发生什么事呢？因为跟 Russell 这个 uncle 啊住在一起之后， Julian 就变了，他就越来越沉默，越来越孤僻，而且一直旷课啊，然后翘掉学校的一些咨商辅导。我们来看一下第2段第1句的地方。首先有几个重点，第一个重点就是 however 逗点之后这个 since， 在这里指的是一个时间，自从 moving in 搬进跟他的 uncle Russell 一起住之后， 那看到了 since 逗点之后 Julian has begun 这里的现在完成式，我们要拉一个箭号跟 since 一起，因为 since 通常指的就是过去的某个时间点一直到现在为止，所以它会搭配现在完成式。我们刚刚说 Julian 已经变得沉默孤僻，而且还翘课哦。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. This is our literature unit. Day 1, we're talking about the plot of the book, A List of Cages, a story of tragedy and triumph. We're kind of describing to you what the book contains. It's got a lot of sadness in it, but also moments of success or triumph for our character. We're focusing on two boys, Adam and Julian, and they're very different from each other. Adam's popular, he's older, he's a confident high school senior. While Julian's quiet, he's lonely. He's gone through some troubling times. He's lost his parents to some sort of accident, and he's had a kind of a rough time. Now, the two boys met each other long ago when they were in elementary school. Adam was assigned to be Julian's reading buddy to help a younger student learn how to read. That's kind of fun. And so they got to know each other then. But later, when Julian's parents died, Adam's mother took Julian into their home and was his foster mother for a while. And Adam and Julian got to know each other better then. Well, after a while, the government was able to find a relative to take in Julian, and that was his Uncle Russell. But it sounds like that wasn't a great move because Julian then began to withdraw more and more. He'd stopped talking with kids. He didn't want to socialize at all. He stopped going to classes sometimes and even skipped his school counseling appointments where a therapist or a counselor could help him talk through some of his issues at that point. Now, the boys' old friendship is revived when Adam is asked to spend time with Julian for course credit. So he's going to get some credit towards graduating if he's able to meet with Julian. Sometimes that happens, which is a great program. If you revive something, you bring something back that's either dead or hasn't been used for a while to revive. Maybe you were friends with somebody in elementary school and didn't see them again until you were 60. Well, you might want to revive that friendship, renew the friendship. You could say that too. They renewed their relationship. Their old friendship was renewed or revived when Adam was asked to spend time with Julian for a class, for course credit.
Yeah, they hung out a lot originally, but then Julian moved in with his uncle and he became withdrawn. And maybe Adam and Julian didn't hang out so much. But then their friendship was revived when Adam was asked to spend time with Julian because Adam would get some course credit. If you hang out with Julian and help him out with his classes or whatever, hey, you'll earn extra credit. And Adam welcomes Julian into his group of friends, but soon realizes Julian's troubles run deeper than he expected. So Adam's trying to be cool here. Okay, Julian, you were withdrawn for a while. You're kind of unusual, but hey, let me introduce you to all my friends and you can be part of our group here. But then as he got to know Julian or get to know him again, he realized that, hey, Julian's got some problems here. These troubles run deeper than he expected. So I guess there was some problems with Julian living with his uncle.
Right. So when visiting his house to check on Julian one day, Adam comes face to face with Russell. I think this is the first time he sees the Uncle Russell. And that Russell aggressively questions him and then slams the door in Adam's face. Now, if you check on someone, you just you call them up, or maybe you go by their house to see how they're doing, check up on someone. It's good to check up on friends or pets just to see if everyone's okay. So he went over to his house, and that's when he met Russell, the awful uncle. And if you aggressively do something, you're pretty, I would say you're not being very kind, that's for sure. If you're aggressive, you're sort of in someone's face. It looks like you're ready to attack somebody sometimes. If a dog is really aggressive, I get out of there because I'm afraid the dog will bite me. So don't be aggressive. That's not a way to live your life. It seems like you want to, start a fight with somebody, maybe even hit someone if you're too aggressive.
Right, so of course, if you're aggressive, of course, you're being forceful. Maybe in traffic, you need to be aggressive to get ahead of the other cars. And here, Russell answered the door. What do you want? What are you doing here? You have no business here. So, of course, he was aggressively questioning him. And then he slammed the door in his face. Get out of here. Don't ever come back here again. Slam. So that could be considered quite rude. So Adam, of course, would realize that, hey, if Julian has to live in such a household, he's probably in big trouble. And Adam later tells his girlfriend Emerald that there is something off about Russell. So here we're using the word off as an adjective. It just means there's something unusual, there's something strange about Uncle Russell. He's a bad apple. He's a really bad guy.
Yeah, sometimes we use it for food. Ooh, the milk smells off, which just means it smells bad, like it's turning sour. Probably shouldn't eat that food if it smells off. Off sometimes means also that someone's a little bit crazy. There's something off about that person. Maybe you don't know for sure or clearly what's going on, so you use that word off, just kind of weird, unusual, as Tom said. So after Adam leaves, after he, has this confrontation with Russell, Russell turns his wrath on Julian. Wrath here means anger. He's furious because Adam went there to see Julian. So if you turn on someone, it means you are suddenly not loyal to them. You can turn on a friend by betraying a confidence, which means they've told you something secret that they want you to keep secret, and then you tell everybody. That would be turning on someone. A dog can turn on someone quickly. Maybe it looks like they're friendly at first, and then suddenly, they try to attack you. Well, Russell turns his wrath on Julian, so he takes out his anger on Julian.
His wrath, his anger, his revenge. So, of course, he was mad at Adam. So Russell turned his wrath on Julian and got mad at Julian now. And he beats the boy with a stick for violating his rules and even hits him in the face, leaving noticeable wounds. If you violate something, that means basically you disobey the rules. You break the rules and you do not comply with or you do not obey the rules. So there were rules in the house, and Russell accused the boy of breaking those rules or violating those rules, and he punished him. He hit him with a stick and even bashed him in the face. He hit him in the face, leaving wounds that were noticeable. So there were scars, bruises, etc. Other people could tell that the boy was attacked.
And then Russell leaves the house and Julian flees or runs quickly to the home where he used to live with his parents. That's where Adam finds him. And Adam is horrified or greatly shocked to see Julian's face and clothes covered in blood. So he really hurt Julian when Russell beat him up. Though Adam wants to call the police, that's what he wants to do, both Julian and his girlfriend Emerald convince Adam not to. Because why? Well, it could endanger or put Julian in more danger. Instead, they clean his wounds and care for him until he goes home on his own. We're not done, though, talking about the plot, guys. We will be doing more of the plot in day 2, but right now, we're going to listen to our Chinese teacher.
那后来因为这个 Adam 啊，就是被要求要花一些时间陪伴 Julian， 帮他修一些课程学分嘛。那他们又开始呢，这个复原他们之前从小时候的情谊。 不过呢 Adam 当然是很欢迎 Julian 加入他的朋友圈，可是他很快的就注意到 Julian 好像有很大的麻烦，而且比他预期的还要深。同样在第二段第4句这个地方，我们特别注意最后面的 deeper than he expected。 我们之前曾经说过，如果我们今天要介绍一个故事或者是电影的情节，可以直接用简单现在式就好了，因为故事或者是电影可以一直重复的不断的被阅读或者是被欣赏，所以情节上用简单现在式。但是有时候会因为事情的先后顺序，所以会出现过去式这样子的一个描述方式。例如在这里我们看到本来都用现在式，例如在这句话当中的 realizes Adam 了解到 Julian's troubles， Julian 他遭受到的麻烦 run deeper than he expected。 最后这个字过去式的 expected 其实就有隐含着之前期待的意思，所以有时候虽然是用简单现在式来描述故事情节，还是有可能会出现过去式这样子的描述方式。那么之后呢，有一天就是 Adam 要去 Julian 他们家查看一下他的情况，他刚好就跟 Russell 也就是他这个 uncle 嘛面对面，结果 Russell 呢他就很咄咄逼人的就一直质问他，然后当场甩了门。后来 Adam 就觉得很奇怪，所以就告诉他的女朋友，他女朋友叫做小翠，英文就是出现在同样第2段第6句这个地方 Emerald， 他觉得有一点怪怪的。那 Adam 离开之后呢，这个 Uncle Russell 呢，他居然就把怒气转向 Julian。 他做了什么事呢？他用棍子殴打 Julian， 而且还打他的脸哦。在第3段第2句的地方出现了打的2个动词，第一个动词是 beat，beat 基本上就有连续打的意思，而且在这里很显然的后面有一个工具 with a stick， 用棍子打。第2个动词的打呢，出现在第2句大概中间后面一点地方，有没有看到一个 hit， 这个 hit 的打呢，通常是打1下打2下，比较没有连续打的意思。但是打他打在脸上哦， hit someone in the 加上部位，然后打到他的脸，所以就留下了很明显的伤痕啊。那么逗点之后的 leaving， 它其实原本是补充说明的关系子句，是 which leaves， 留下了明显伤痕，但是这里的 which 代替的是逗点前面的这整句话，也就是用棍子打啦，然后打脸啦，这个整个殴打的状况就留下明显的伤痕。所以 Russell 离开之后呢， Julian 就逃到他之前跟父母住过的家嘛。那么接下来这个第3句前面这里的 once 要特别注意哦，在这里是连接词，是 when 的意思，也就是一怎么怎么的时候的语气。 Russell 一走开他就回去那个家，后面的 the home 带着一个限定用法关系子句，我们从 where 一直到句尾的地方可以左右括号。好，那么后来 Adam 就在那个地方就找到 Julian， 而且就直接看到 Julian 身上怎么都沾满了血。那 Adam 就突然意识到是发生什么事情，所以直接就把 Julian 带到他女朋友 Emerald 小翠他们家去，他们觉得这个比较安全。好，我们来看一下第3段第5句这里 realizing 在这里是一个分词构句哦。还原的话本来应该有一个连接词 when 或者是 after，后面加上主词的逗点之后的 Adam realizes， 当 Adam 了解到发生了什么事之后， Adam 就带 Julian 到小翠的家，把 when 删掉， Adam 跟后面的主词一样也删， realize 就会变成动词 ing 的 realizing。 那不过呢他们没有报警，因为后来他们想一想啊，觉得报警可能会进一步这个危害到 Julian， 所以呢就直接呢清理 Julian 的伤口，然后照顾他直到他自己回家为止。我们明天还会带大家看这个故事，明天见喽。
Okay, everybody, that's it for today's lesson. We've summarized half of the novel so far, and we'll continue summarizing it in our next program, so please make sure you join us then. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.